Eventually, you get used to little lies, and little lies build to bigger lies. Try to be honest. Growing up as a teenager in the 90s with the rave scene and, all sorts of little shows and events that people would put on for industrial music and grunge and all this kind of stuff. There was a lot of subcultures, a lot of people making events, a lot of people creating culture, on the ground culture for kids to go and enjoy, to connect to music, to connect to community, and to, in many cases, expand their consciousness. So, as part of the rave scene and many of the other scenes, there wasn't just, I mean, we were teenagers, but, this is how it often goes. There wasn't just alcohol, there was ecstasy, there was psilocybin, magic mushrooms, there was LSD at times. I even did crystal meth, I don't know, 2 or 3 times. It was great for dancing all night, but I do not recommend anybody try it. The few days, 2 or 3 days, even as a resilient teenager, the few days afterwards were not fun. As fun as it was to stay up all night dancing. So I don't recommend that you try that. As much as, I encourage people to use their consciousness as they see fit if they are adults. Anyways, yeah, I've definitely never done anything that would bruise my arm, like injectable drugs. I had a friend who was actually, he seemed rather kind of respectable and almost a little reserved or conservative or something, but he was kind of gung-ho for a few of these things. He suggested that, out of our friends, he might want to try some type of injectable at some point. Now, I never did, but I don't think he did either, thankfully. Neither of us did, and never have. You can get bruises and nasty marks on your arm, kind of like this. The 90s was a wild time. Expand your consciousness responsibly as you see fit. In recent times, I've been trying to shed vices and habits and be more careful about all the substances that go into, the house that I carry with me. I'm trying to turn it into a temple. It's a process, maybe a lifelong process, I don't know. But in any case, yeah, I've been living clean this year, pretty clean, barely drinking. Still smoke cannabis, but maybe that'll change soon, we'll see. Don't do any other drugs. Don't have a desire to, other than caffeine, that's a drug. Yeah, but it's good. It's good with the chronic pain that I struggle with, changing your diet, your lifestyle. Listen, that really helps. That's the place to start if you don't know what to do and you haven't been able to get help with your health issue, your life compromising health issue from standard sources. The place to start is lifestyle and diet, and appropriate activity if you don't have that already in your life, in your routines. Yeah, but I've tried different things. Luckily, never stuck anything in my arm. This bruise is from a test for STIs. I got tested for everything that they could test me for. It's, I think it's probably, no matter the situation, if you're getting out of a relationship, like I got out of a relationship, probably a good idea just to know where you stand, to make sure everything's okay, just to get a full battery of tests to make sure you're clean so that you can go forward with your sexual experiences with confidence and responsibility. So the guy warned me I'd be getting a bruise, but I got pretty fair Celtic skin, and man, the purple shows, but so does the ring around it. It makes me a bit self-conscious. I don't know what went down in my relationship, but I did something that I thought I would never do. I'm usually not the one that ends relationships, but I did this time, and I did it by text. I think that's not the best move, and I've explicitly thought that to myself as a scenario in the past, that's something I wouldn't want to do or I wouldn't want to have done to me. But it was, again, I'm trying to change things around, take a new direction in life, listen to my intuition more, and I just needed to make a clean break on that day at that time. It was like a week and a half ago. Maybe it was the 8th. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but getting out of this is the longest long-term relationship I've had. By far, I've been in love a number of times. I've had relationships over my life, as a teenager, young adult, that lasted 2 or 3 years, that kind of dragged on and off, a little bit after that. But, yeah, this was like 10 or 11 years going through the hardest shit. She took a scholarship at a certain point and moved to Montreal. Like I said in a previous video, it was one of my deal breakers that I guess in this case didn't break the deal. Didn't want to be in a long distance relationship for a whole bunch of reasons. You have kids, you're married, that's one thing, right? You've invested a certain commitment, but we weren't at that point, even though we've been together for a long time. Because at least in my life and more recently in her life, it was crisis after crisis, like really serious stuff. And so our relationship couldn't progress and evolve as they typically do. My father was still very sick at the end of his life, and I had this investment with her, but she moved away, and as far as I knew, the relationship continued. So I don't know what happened. Who knows, right? But I got this test that gave me that bruise just to make sure, because I'm going to be, I don't know, I'm single, whatever that means. A lot's changed since I was single last, right? I don't know what people do to try to find a mate, or just a little bit of loving on an afternoon or an evening. But we'll see. I've been trying to change many habits, as I said, and I have a bit of a YouTube addiction, I suppose. I think we all have some form of scrolling addiction, but I'm definitely hooked on watching videos, and in some cases it's actually very positive because I can learn things as I, say, wash dishes or make food or something. As part of this recent shift, when I ended this relationship with this woman named Kara, I wanted to change some of the types of food my mind was eating, you know what I mean? And so I started getting into tarot. And I just want to say to all of you that are very, very devout and follow the Bible or these kinds of books, I've been looking into some of these people that have platforms in these different, people of the book subcultures. And it seems that there's a pretty heavy bias to some other traditions and other, like, Eastern cultures in some cases, particularly tarot, saging. And listen, smoke rituals, okay, guys? These are important. You got to clear your space. You got to clear yourself. It's very easy. If you do it with the right intention, you can have different intentions that you speak in your mind or say out loud. I'm sure there's a variety of specific saging rituals that you could look up. But this is a good thing. Do it once a week in your home with a good heart. Send everything that comes to you back. Look it up. There's many phrases you can use to send bad intentions and other kinds of things like that back to where they came. from. So yeah, all you Bible followers, you people that are trying to walk a more narrow, respectable path, I have respect for that. I'm doing that in some ways too, but I've always had grown up with and just been drawn to many traditions, religions of the world, and my mom used to read tarot. I probably have a deck somewhere in one of her old boxes, right? At a certain point, hopefully it your heart opens a little bit. You recognize that there's many different interpretations. Sunlight splits into all sorts of different colors. That's all contained within the purity of existence. Okay, circling back. My mom used to read tarot. My beautiful mom, Frances. I grew up around it. I hadn't really paid attention to it for many years, but I was just trying to change my media consumption habits. And so I started watching some tarot. And I got a little hooked on it. But, ultimately, most of these people have a much more positive energy. It's not little snippet, 2-minute, 3-minute, just little dopamine hits. This is very dangerous. This is junk food. This will condition your mind in a negative way if you're just always TikToking. Just binging on TikTok, man. It's going to make you stupid. You got to have some long form, all right? It's fine to have little morsels, even if they're junky morsels, but have some long form. So anyways, these tarot reads are 20 minutes, half an hour, maybe longer in some cases, and sometimes there's calming music and a calming voice, and it's interesting to hear this reading. A lot of them are general readings, so some of it may not apply to you, but it was a nice change. It felt more nutritious, less quick waste of time and junky, and some of it maybe fit my situation. Again, I don't really know, but some of it echoed some concerns I had, some red flags I had seen with a variety of people in my life and relationships. Some of the stuff that I saw was wild, and it was weird because there was this sort of story or narrative that kept coming up. It kind of fit my situation a little bit. I seem to have been dealing with some sort of, I don't know, cancel culture. I've been talking about haters and stuff, but then there's people that will take it very seriously and will go against you. And I mean, this is the heart of cancel culture. And it is evil. It is just pure indulgence in the sins that will corrupt your soul, your mind, your heart, and your reality. Because karma comes for all of us, sooner or later. I mean, good and bad karma weaves through our lives every moment with every little decision we make. I'm just listening to some of these tarot readings. If any of that stuff, applied to me, or applied to all the people that were, in the comments, all the other people that had watched it. I mean, it's interesting with tarot. But if any of it applied, man, it's evil. People lying and cheating and stealing. I mean, they were talking about family members trying to put someone in a guardianship, stealing inheritance, or, insurance fraud, trying to send spells to people and mess with their energy or drain them over time, set them up. It seems like for a number of years, I just keep getting this weird bad reputation. I've never seen anything about it. I just get weird reactions from people, or just fall-offs of relationships. And I mean, it's hard to talk about. I mean, this is how this cancel culture phenomenon goes. And I mean, it's like people are getting possessed by dark spirits or something. There's something going on. This is the other side of people moving towards the light. Is people are much more susceptible these days to their hearts being gripped by evil intentions, and they become a vehicle for evil actions. So I don't know. I know that there is some reputation. I don't know what it is or who's talked the shit, but it also seems like maybe someone has tried to, I talked about this before a little bit, like people competing with you, but you don't even see them or know that they're competing. How sad and pathetic that is. But I mean, that's a component of cancel culture, you know. Again, if you've seen anybody doing anything like what I'm doing, that's a hack. Chippity chop chop. That's a hack trying to fucking knock off a little piece of gold from someone else. If you see anybody else doing anything like what I'm doing, they're just hating and hacking. And if well, you know, whether it's someone talking shit about me, or you, or you're observing this, just like in general in life, when there's a big group of people gang up on someone, usually the person, not all the time, but often, the person is defending themselves. I mean, these days, that's what cancel culture is. A bunch of people that kind of gang up behind the scenes and ruin reputations and kind of do a lot of sneaky shit, do a lot of evil little dark maneuvers, trying to cut people down and take what they have and stuff. And it's, I mean, it's sad. It's sad, but you know, karma gonna come for all you little bitches, all you dusty bitches. Watching these tarot readings, a lot of them are done by women, and there's some spicy tarot ladies out there. I love y'all. You guys really have helped me through this time after this breakup and this big shift in my life that I've initiated. You guys talk some trash. You talk some trash, and I love it. Made me feel so good. I don't know. I mean, if I'm playing Third Strike, I'll talk mad trash on you. I don't mean offense. I don't actually want to upset people, and I would even, you know, try to reconcile or possibly apologize if someone was very offended. But I like to talk some trash when I'm playing Third Strike, right? And so just listening to these tarot ladies talk about these situations, I mean, some wild stuff. Stealing and manipulating and identity thefting and all this kind of stuff. But they were talking some trash. And, you know, it made me feel good. It made me smile. It made me hoot. It made me cheer, you know. All y'all are beautiful. I would love to get a tarot reading and like pick a tarot reader's brain about that process of divination, because all this stuff is so fascinating to me. Yeah, man, when you don't do anything wrong, like I've never had anybody tell me I've done anything wrong. No one's confronted me, right? But I do seem to have this periodic distaste from some people in the neighborhood, right? Neighbors in some cases, but also just people I don't even know. There seems to be some reputation. That's how cancel culture works. Many people deal with this. And, you know, to people looking in on the outside that aren't going through it, it seems weird, or maybe even like someone's paranoid or crazy or something like that. But there's a lot of people that have gone through this kind of thing. And again, this is how it works. It's all surreptitious, moving in the shadows. It's all this like evil, little, dishonorable, weak heart, flimsy, flappy soul stuff. And one of the things that I notice with people that either are offended by your light or maybe recognize you in some sort of way from some slander, some selfish gossip. One thing is, when you look a lot of these people in the eye, they seem to not like you. They might even look at you and laugh or chuckle or something like that, but when you look them in the eye, at a certain point, second 3, maybe second 5, and I don't mean, you know, but just look at them. Just look into their windows. Try to peer around the corner into a few of the shadows. Once you look long enough into a lot of these people's eyes, you touch something within them, some part of them that knows that they're not being very mature or kind. And that's the thing, you know, you look into someone's eyes for long enough, and at a certain point you can see past their facade. And a lot of people these days are, they're floating through life purely on their facade, on their persona. There's a lot of people that have been, it's like backwards. There should be a person in the persona, and maybe you have a profession where you have to use that persona to, you know, wear your hat to play a certain role. But there should be a person in the persona, and this is how a lot of stars and performers and other people that deal with fame get corrupted and collapse and go through really tough things, is that the person gets lost. There needs to be a solid foundation, and the persona takes over. And now the persona is just consuming the person. A lot of people are just living on the surface. And so when you look into them and you see past the surface, they start to realize, they don't even maybe understand it sometimes, but they start to feel that there's something in there that's not wholesome, that's not respectable, that's not honorable. At some point, some little uncertainty, some kind of shame or something comes in. And, you know, if any of you have gone through something, a cancel culture situation, or just being unpopular in a community, and people have acted like this, and you've looked into their eyes and seen that, like, you will have seen them kind of get shocked for a moment, like they were touched by something, and they break eye contact, and they get timid. That's a tough thing, right? You want to be able to look people in the eyes. Now, I've had a lot of trouble with eye contact because they're not too twitchy right now. I'm part of the change in lifestyle and diet and some other changes that have happened recently. I'm not dealing with as much of the twitching. I used to have for a number of years after the wisdom tooth operation. Weird nervy shit going on, especially on the left side. I would get twitches in my jaw and the neck a little bit, especially in and around the eyes, like in and around here, trigeminal nerve stuff. And again, people, you know, people see that and they think that you're uncomfortable with them or that you have bad intentions or whatever. So, you know, I wear sunglasses a lot, and I've had difficulty with eye contact, but not so much anymore. And again, since I've let go of some people and started to change some things in my life, I can make eye contact better now. I can maintain it. I can see more deeply into your windows. And quite often, I got people just look away like I've found a secret out just by looking into their eyes. And, you know, unfortunately, again, I don't know what happened with the woman that I was dating for 10 or 11 years. I had that with her. And within the sort of week or two before I broke up with her, I was getting that. And it just was not acceptable to me. I would look into her eyes, I would look deeply into her eyes, and at a certain point, she would just, it was like I saw something that she didn't want me to see, especially when I would ask certain questions, and she would get like nervous and look to the side. Yeah, a year and a half ago, I guess she started this scholarship program in Montreal, and you know, and I mean, really in 2023, I started to put my foot down and just be like, there's a bunch of stuff in our relationship that I've been talking about for a long time. You keep saying you're going to try, or you're trying, and things barely change, if at all. And we fought a lot because I was standing up for myself. She wasn't used to it. And I wanted to see if she would fight, if she would change, if she would try to step into her womanhood and fully give to the relationship. And we've been together for too long. And so for 2023, as I started to make a lot of big changes, I just couldn't get her to kind of come along with me, next to me at least, on this path of change. And so that was, well, it was frustrating, a lot of conflict. I got my STI test just to make sure. And whoever it is, whatever your relationship is, if you get out of one, get tested, why not? Yeah, nothing wrong with tarot. All right? These tarot people, they're lovely. They're lovely. It's been a great change of content consumption. If any of you tarot readers are watching, thank you so much. Some wild shit. This storyline that kept popping up, some wild shit in there. Who knows? What I do know is that some friends, some family, and unfortunately, the girlfriend that I was with for quite a long time. Just, I couldn't get the love that I gave back. And that's a simple way to put it, but it was very clear, and I knew I had to make some big changes. I think I said this in a previous video. I did my best to save my mom, did my best to save my dad. It was time to save myself. I would have liked her to come along with me on that journey, but it didn't work out. And I definitely don't recommend that you break up with people by text, but it was the right thing to do. And it catalyzed all sorts of really, really positive changes in my life, in my routines, in my spirit, and my mindset. And man, I feel good. I haven't felt this good. I haven't smiled this much. I haven't been as successful sort of listening to the guidance of the universe, as well as rebuilding routines and being more organized and responsible. I haven't been able to feel as unburdened as I am right now in a long, long time. And I mean, this wild tarot shit. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, it's fucking cheesy. Excuse my swearing. I let all that trash talk go last video. I don't know that I want to be trash talking all the time, but yeah. I guess I'm feeling good. I would never do anything to harm myself. And this is the I can't keep a straight face. This is the kind of thing that you hear people talk about a lot in the last few years when they start to challenge the system, or talk about the hold of the matrix on society and human consciousness. And I'll try to be honest. It's important to me, and I can't tell you what to do and how to live your life, but I think it should be important to you too. Because, little lies. You get used to little lies. Eventually you get used to little lies, and little lies build to bigger lies. Big lies stack upon big lies. And then they become large, colossal lies. And before you know it, you've got this tower teetering. All these little lies at the bottom, no stable anything. Just waiting to crash down on your life when karma brings a tower moment. So tell the truth. Even if you don't know the outcome. Spread love. And don't hate on tarot. These people are awesome. Peace.